Welcome back to Connected. It's Destiny and Jaden, and we're in Cabo. Guys, the setup is just insane. It's so beautiful. And the weather right now is amazing. It's a little windy, but it's so warm.
Yeah.
And just hearing the waves. So hopefully you enjoyed the little background.
Yeah. This is probably our best scenery, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it beats Hawaii.
I think so too.
Okay. This week we chose to talk about gratitude. So let's get into it.
Okay. Question 1. Let's see. Why do you think it's easier to be thankful in the highs than the lows?
Ooh, I like that question. I think it's easier to be thankful in the highs than the lows because it just seems like everything's going your way.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you had planned going your way. Where in the lows, it's about that mindset and you're just in a low time. So it's hard to find a positive when you're focused on the negatives.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would say it's easier because life is going great. Like, you're not having any struggles, any troubles. Like, everything's just smooth sailing. You feel like you're in control. Everything's fine because I feel like the music is getting louder.
It's okay. Guys, I think they're going to have a wedding over there. It is getting louder.
Oh,
but
gosh. I just think that because everything's going so well, you feel fine and you're grateful for everything that's going well. But in the lows, it's hard to see good and anything good because you're in such a pit and you're in such a hard time.
Yeah,
but it's important
I agree.
to see the good things in the lows, not
Yeah.
just the highs.
True.
Sorry?
Have you ever experienced a season of blessing where you forgot to thank God?
I'm sure I have. Well, I'm trying to think. I think maybe even the season I'm in right now.
Always going to say that. Okay.
Because, like, I get to see my cousin every day, all the time. I'm working in a place where I love it. I love everything. Like, my life is good right now for me. Like, like, I've prayed for this. I've prayed to be close with, like, my family and, like, things to be fine. And honestly, I haven't been like, you know what? Thank you, God, for this time. Thank you for allowing me to be where I'm at and showing me how to grow through this time. Like, the people that you're bringing into my life right now, like, all this stuff, like, genuinely thinking about it right this very second, I'm very grateful for where I'm at and what the Lord's doing in my life, our lives, like, in this podcast even.
Yeah.
And how he's, like, stretched me and grown me through this season is in ways that I've needed. And he knows that. What would you say?
I was going to kind of what you said. My coming out of high school was really hard for me, just in a weird season of, like, I've talked about that before, like being an adult, not an adult, not going away to college and going to community college. And I think all I would pray for is friends that were our age and, like, Christians. What do you, not
You can
Christ
say that.
believers? That sounds so weird. I don't know. But Christians, and that we could just have, like, a good time, not doing anything bad,
Yeah,
just
it's
enjoying
innocent
each
fun.
other's, innocent fun. Yeah, I like that. And enjoying each other's company. And I think the first year of college and even, like, the second was pretty hard. Wasn't super content with life. And now I've just realized I've been so content and so thankful for the people that God has placed in my life. Especially, like, going to play pickleball and just going to the beach and doing random things with each other and going to the farmer's market. Like, I'm just super grateful for this season in my life because I've realized that, like, wow, this is everything I've been praying for. I've been praying to make friends, and here they are, not just friends that, because there's friends where you talk to once in a while, but those that actually check in on you and make sure you're doing good. And so I would say, not that the question was that
What is it? Oh, is there anything?
have you experienced a season where you forgot to
Yeah.
thank God? I would say at the beginning of the season, I didn't realize how content I was because life was just like,
You weren't.
And then now I just realized it even more that this is everything I've prayed for.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't forget to thank God right now because it's
in
kind
the
of
beginning.
apparent. Is that the right word
Mhm.
to me? But in the beginning, I definitely could have easily forgot.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Let's see.
So shout out to everyone out there.
All of our
Even you
friends.
guys. You guys bring so much joy, and I'm so thankful that you guys tune in. We love you all.
Can you share a time when it was hard to be thankful? What did God teach you in it?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Let me think. um hmm. I think something that more I can't think like past times. I mean, I've definitely gone through situations I didn't want to go through, and at the time I was like, Lord, why? And it was hard for me to be thankful in that season. But at the same time, what helped me get through that season was realizing, like, what is the Lord trying to teach me? How is He trying to grow me? And something that's more recent, I would say, is this whole Spain process. It's just crazy. It's still up in the air. And I'm very like to plan everything. And I've definitely had some, what is it called? Road setbacks. Yes. Thank you. See, this is why I need you. Setbacks with this whole process, and everything is just crazy. And I had a setback, and I think it was hard for me to be thankful initially in that moment. But then I realized, like, okay, if I don't get to leave when I want to leave, look at everything I have around me. And I just had to switch to that mindset of what I'm thankful for here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered that question good. What would you say?
I would say.
Oh, wait, pause. I didn't say what God taught me in it.
Oh.
God taught me, one, that through everything that He puts you through, there's always something to be thankful for. You can find, no matter what you're going through, you can always find something to be thankful for. Two, that He's such an intentional God, and every single thing happens for a reason, whether we don't understand it or not, whether we want it or not.
Yeah.
And you just have to, one day you'll look back and be thankful for it. But when you're going through it, just look through a mindset of gratitude and be like, well, what can I be grateful for today? Just one little small joy.
Yeah. I would say there's been like probably a few times. And each time I think it's been kind of similar, just in the sense of I felt like kind of alone in it. So like one, when my parents like got a divorce, and I really do believe like I really felt so lonely, and I was not thankful for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of like living life dully, I would say, like just no purpose, I felt like, for me. And in that time, I really learned to lean on the Lord and lean on the people that He put around me, because He put them there for a reason. And then again, when my dad got sick, I like wasn't thankful that my dad was sick. I wasn't thinking in a mind of gratitude of like, oh, thank goodness, like literally thank God I have my family around me, because I was just like upset, and I was hurt, and I was sad, and I was confused, and I was all these crazy emotions going around me, where I was like I was angry at God. And so I wasn't in a mindset of gratitude. And I just remember being like, one day I was like, you know what, like I've learned this lesson before, and I'm relearning it again, not necessarily because I feel like I was angry at God, but I was still leaning on God, but I wasn't leaning on the people around me necessarily. And God's like, you're not like, I'm carrying this with you, but there's other people in your life that I've put there for you to carry this with you. Like, you're not alone in this. And so like, I felt like He was teaching me to like lean on the people around me, and to like it's not all on my strength,
Yeah.
So.
One, this just brings me two things. My dad always says that at church, and I truly believe it, is that God's going to keep giving you a test until you pass it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And when you said that, I just remember at times when you didn't want to go to church because her dad was in the hospital again, and she didn't want to hear it from everyone, and didn't want everyone to be like, I'm praying for you, and if you need anything, I'll be here. She's like, I just don't want to hear that. And I remember sitting on the couch, and I'm like, but Jen, you're so lucky to have these people. Like, we're lucky to have a church family.
And I was like, I know that I'm lucky, but I don't want to hear it. I was like, I know that I'm blessed.
So
but yeah, I remember that.
Season.
I remember that.
I remember that day so vividly.
It was a Wednesday night, and I didn't go to church. Probably should have. Not probably. I definitely should have. But yes, I would say those times, and learning to not carry it all for myself,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes I still struggle with.
Well, we
We're
all
working
struggle.
on it.
Yeah, we're all work in progress. How does thankfulness shift our perspective in the middle of suffering?
That's good. It allows us to recognize, I think, the beauty in everything that we're going through and the circumstances that we're in for a reason. So I think if we're just so doom and gloom about it all, we're never going to be able to see how God is shaping us and how God is what he's teaching us and how we're going to learn our lessons if we're just so focused on everything. So when we're start being thankful for something, we're able to see the blessings that God has put in your life for a reason. And through those blessings, it teaches you the lessons that I believe that the Lord is trying to teach you.
That's good. I would say I think that thankfulness helps shift your perspective from yourself onto the Lord, especially using worship during that time. Worship music, I love it so much because when I'm going through a hard time, I'm not thinking about my hard time. I'm thinking about the Lord and his goodness. And depending what worship song, like traits about him or characteristics of God. So I think thankfulness just, it's less about you and more about everything around you and what God has given you. So I think that's how it helps me shift my perspective in the middle of times of suffering.
That's good.
Guys, there's like a ton of people around.
I know. It's kind of odd.
I'm not nervous because
No, me
who
neither.
cares? Which
But
I would have been.
kind of start looking at us, staring. I'm like,
okay.
Okay. Do you think it's okay to be honest with God about your frustrations while still being grateful?
Yes, one, you can't even hide anything from God, so he already knows your heart. And I think it was saying while still being grateful. Yeah, because I think you can be frustrated about going through a situation. There's definitely been times in my life where I go through a situation or a trial, and I'm like, ugh, I'm frustrated about it. But I'm grateful that he's putting me through it because he's shaping me, he's molding me into the person I'm called to be in that he needs me to be. And I think that we need to go through trials and times of suffering. We do, so that we could be, I think of like the little sculpture, you know? What is it?
Like
chipped away or full, yeah. What would you say?
I would say, of course, and just like Destiny said, he already knows if you're frustrated with him, but that honesty coming from you and that point of, Lord, I'm upset with you, but I also understand, or I'm trying to understand. Lord, show me, help me understand your ways and why you're going through this. And when he does, I think you can still be angry about the situation. And it's less of an anger at God, I think, at that point, at least for me in my circumstances. I remember like that, what I was just talking about with my dad and how I was upset with God through like it all. I was like so angry. And I remember I was like, oh, I'm grateful for my family. And I was then less upset with God and more frustrated with like the whole situation going on and like trying to understand why or what do I need to take away from this. And I think that's more the heart. That was harder than coming to God and saying that I was upset and like frustrated. But in the end, it really shows you a lot, and it like that really refines and like builds your relationship with the Lord so much when you can be honest with him. When you like he already knows your heart, but when you're honest with him, it's like that's you longing for God, you know?
Yeah, I like that. What helps you stay rooted in gratitude day to day?
I would say remembering the times that I was in when I wasn't grateful for things, where I like took things for granted, and I was reminded how grateful I should be and how blessed I really am with everything that the Lord has given me and provided me with. And so when I start to become ungrateful for something, it's like I already know this. Like I've already learned this lesson, you know? So I think that everyday process when I start to become like in a bad mood or grumpy or ungrateful for a circumstance or just complaining about it over and over again, I think it's more of a mind switch of, no, I know, I already know this, so we're going to stop it right here, and I'm going to be grateful for it.
I like that. One that makes me think of, like, when you get a cold and you can't breathe through your nose, then you realize how, you take that for granted and how grateful you are to be able to breathe through your nose.
You're laying in bed, you're like, this sucks.
And then I'm always like, I'm never going to take it for granted again. And then I forget about it and then I get sick again and I'm like, ah. But for me, what helps me stay rooted in gratitude day to day is finding one little small joy of my day and pointing it out and saying it out loud. Before I go to bed, I'm like, what brought me joy today? Or even sometimes I'll just be going through the motions or doing something like going to the store and someone smiles and says something to me and I'm like, you know what? That just made my day. Saying that out loud, I'll be like that. That just made my day, or random things. So that's how I would say, that's how I stay rooted in gratitude, is just trying to think of at least one thing a day.
That's good.
And I like to journal it. So
that's good.
Because then you can be able to look back on it.
How can our gratitude impact people around us?
Well, I think when you have a mindset of gratitude and the other person doesn't, they're easily going to catch on. If I'm always around you and you're always finding joy in the small things, then I'm going to learn hey, I can find joy in the small things too. Just like today at the pool. Okay, on Sunday, my dad talked about complaining and how we shouldn't complain. Well, me and Jane are just reading our books by the pool, and this family next to us, the dad was complaining, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, all I could hear was complaining
too.
And I think it's more
forefront in our mind
because my dad just said talked about complaining, and then his daughter comes down and she starts complaining, and he's like, stop complaining. And me and Jane just look at each other and we're like, I wonder where she learns that from. So just as one learns to complain, a child learns to complain from what they see, I think just same with gratitude. If they see you always having a mindset of thankfulness and being thankful for everything, then they're going to pick up on that and do that too. So I think just that can just impact them to shift to help them shift their mind.
Yes. I would say, I think it picks up people's day. If you're in a bad mood and you're always grumpy and just, always in a bad mood, I think one, at first, it's going to bother them that you're so happy and you're grateful for everything, and they're going to be annoyed by it, because when you're in a dark season and that light starts peeking through, you're you're trying to close the blinds, but the blinds won't close. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to feed into them. Being grateful, I think, is part of showing Jesus, because you're grateful for what he's done in your life and you're counting your blessings. And so through that, you're praising God through all of it. And so when you're showing Jesus and you're showing the light of it, it's going to feed other people, and people are going to be drawn to that light. And I think eventually, obviously, when they're drawn to Jesus, they're going to change eternally. Mm-hmm. So, and spiritually. So I would say it just affects how people see you, and when you're always shining the light, it's gonna better other people's day. Even if they're in a bad mood and you're oh my gosh, I love your shirt today, and then they're oh no, and you're I don't know, just say something nice or kind to them, and you're, I don't know necessarily how to tie this to gratitude right now. You're just great, and you're okay, let's say meet us and you're eating food. I'm oh, I'm so grateful for this food. I've been starving. She's in a bad mood. She's gonna be oh yeah, I am grateful for this food too, or when we're in Mexico right now, and honestly, I've been I'm so grateful for where I live, because I come here and I'm this is kind of sad for the kids who live here, because it's not even we're in a bad part of Mexico, but just driving around the streets, just the towns where it's wow, even just my small town where we live is so nice compared to this, and it's not even nice,
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question. Okay. How can we be thankful with others, especially when we see them going through something painful?
I think this is reminding them of the things they have to be grateful for without I don't know. I feel this is a very thin line to push over, because you can be Destiny's so down inside. You're well, at least like, remember, like, you have this to be grateful for and da-da-da. And I think that can be, in a way, sometimes depending how people do it, it can seem as if you're belittling their, like, suffering or their feelings. But I think if you're doing it in a specific way, where even sometimes I say something and I'm like, that so sounds like I'm not recognizing her feelings or that she's going through a hard time, but reminding her of the things that she does have while recognizing that the things that she is suffering with right now,
To piggyback off that, I like that. I think you could, at times when people are expressing their feelings, you could be like, what you're feeling is valid, but what is something you can be thankful for in this moment through this trial, Or even just point it back to Jesus, like, what is Jesus trying to teach you? What has Jesus given you?
Yeah, like,
what has he done for you in the past? Why, like, he could still do, how do you think he could do it now,
Yeah.
So just, like, validating their
thinking.
feelings and then get them thinking,
Yeah.
but not being like, well, at least you have this. Like, no one wants to hear that.
Like, okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Like, I knew I had that.
Okay, this is, like, not a written down question, but can you think of something that you have gratitude, three things that you have gratitude for right now in this season of life?
I would say, one, my job. I'm very blessed with my job, and just like the hours that I work, the people that I work with, my kids, everything that I like. Literally, my job is just amazing, and I wouldn't be able to do half the things I'd do if I didn't have this job, and I wouldn't be blessed as I am if I didn't have this job, or be able to, like, pouring into these little kids and how they pour into me too is just so amazing. It's so cool. Two, I would say I'm blessed with just the people around me right now, how, like, it's just a good time, I guess. Like, it's a good time to be around these people, and it's fun to interact with everyone. And I love how it's Jesus talk a lot of the time. Like, it's like we're all growing each other the way, like we're good friends, is like iron. We're sharpening each other, So I'd say just people I'm around. And three, let's see. Well, being here, I've been presently grateful for where I live in, like, my community, and having, like, everything, like, easy access to anything I want.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have one more because I have, like, a silly one. Do you have, like, something silly that you're grateful for that comes here to the top of your head, or no?
My car. Like, when I'm on vacation, I'm always like, I wish I had my car. Like, I can just go do whatever I want. And not that I'm not grateful to be here on vacation or do what I want, but I literally was telling Destiny, I'm like, I love being on vacation, but I hate it because if I'm hungry, like, I only have so much. Like, I can't just go get whatever I want. Yeah, so I would say that. Okay, let's go back to you.
Okay, three things. One thing that I would say for sure is definitely number one is the people around me, because as I'm getting excited to go to Spain, I'm also getting sad because the one thing I want to bring with me is the people, but I can't. And I'm extremely thankful for them and thankful that they're here for me every step of the way. And I know that I can always run to them and they speak life into me. Even some people that I'm, like, not close to still. Like, I still love them and I'm still grateful for them. Like my church family. I don't get to speak to everyone, but even just their small comments can make my day.
Yeah.
Two, I feel like I'm going to copy you, but two, I would definitely say my job. My job is just the best job in the world. Working with kids is just the best thing ever. And just being able to love on them and make them feel loved and make them feel believed in is just so beautiful. Three, I would say water. I just love water and my water bottle. I'm just super thankful for clean water because we're here. And not that necessarily their water isn't clean, but you have to be careful when you're going to restaurants because you could get sick from their water because we're not used to it. Or even on Sunday when we saw Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
Africa, their water, and how the kids at church chose to put it in a water well. And, like, we're so lucky. And even just here, when I have to just
worry for us.
buy so many water bottles, I could just go to my kitchen and just drink water whenever I want.
Yeah.
And then we have clean water to shower in, to go in the pool in. We have like all this water.
It's like literally luxury to some people.
Yeah. And then I would say my last thing, my weird thing that I'm just so thankful for, and I realize every time I'm not home, is my Alexa. I love my Alexa. One, because every night I tell it to play brown noise, which is like white noise, but it's called brown noise. It's more softer. And I always have it play that. And then I'll wake up and I'll be like, what time is it? Or what's the weather today? Or when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm like, play music. Or what time is it? And during vacation, so many times I've wanted to be like, Alexa, what time is it? Because my phone's not nearby. So it's just like crazy. That's something that I'm just extremely thankful for. Okay, I have another question. Sorry, we had to pause it because there's people walking. What is one characteristic of God that you are grateful for?
For me, right now, my favorite thing in the entire world is how creative he is and thoughtful he is about everything. Like, I'll be looking at this ocean and I'll be like, isn't it so cool that he thought? So, like, pause on my little story or on my explanation. Here at this resort where we are in Cabo, we can't swim in the ocean because the undertow is so strong. Like, we can't swim or else we'll literally get sucked away into the ocean. And so, like, to me, I'm like, that's so cool that God thought of that. Like, as the waves rolling and it's gonna like suck back out, you know, or like the gravity of everything. Like, why? Like how the moon and the sun control the ocean and the way it rolls. Like, that's so cool to me. And just everything that I look at, I just see God in, and I'm like, it's so insane to me that He thought this much in detail about it. Like, there's every little thing has every little details, you know, like even us and like our anatomy, like everything we do, everything that we are, God thought of. Even like just even our personalities, like how He created me different from Destiny, but how we're still the same. We're still humans. We still have the same anatomy, you know, like it's just so crazy to me. Like His thoughtfulness and His creativeness.
I would say the one that for me that has been sticking out, I have two. How consistent He is. Consistent and constant. And just how intentional he is. God is so intentional. I'm getting so excited. Intentional about every single little thing. Like about the people He places in your life and just about everything. All the trials you go through. Like you go through times and you're like, oh my gosh, now I see like
perfect.
preparing me.
Yeah.
Like everything. He's just such an intentional God. And I just love that of how intentional and how constant He is. Like He's there. The world may be failing us and is always ever changing, but God just remains the same. And that is so cool because think about, say, Jaden. She's my friend. Her mood and stuff isn't always constant, you know? It has its ups and downs. Where God, He stays
Never
constant.
changing.
And I just know that just so beautiful to me that I could just run to Him. Yeah. How comforting. Like God is just so cool. God, we're so grateful for you.
We're so grateful. Thank you, Jesus, for God. Thank you, God, for God. Thank you, God, for yourself. I like that. I like how intentional He is too.
Yeah.
I always crack up because when we get excited or passionate about something, we talk so our words just fly out of our mouths. The other night when Destiny was sick, I was at women's group and I remember I was talking, and as I was talking, I talked for probably a minute. No breaths. Like, and at the end, I'm like trying to spill all my words out before I have to take another breath. Like, it just gets so excited, it just pours out of us. And that, I always crack up because that happens to both of us. We're just, and then we're like, let me take a breath.
Because we understand each other, but sometimes people think we're talking so fast.
They're like, what did you say? I'm like,
I just said it. I don't remember.
I know, seriously. I'm like, I don't know what I said either.
Did I just say? Yeah, that's funny. Do you have any last questions? Guys, I'm so like,
I know this is sick.
They're like playing music over there. I'm getting so distracted. Let's
see. No, I don't. I have a question.
Okay.
What's your song of the week?
Gratitude by Brendan Lake. Well, I thought you were going to have a serious question there. Gratitude by Brendan Lake.
Durr.
Duh.
Okay, well,
this was a short podcast, and we hope you guys enjoyed it all.
Yes.
And we hope that you guys can think of something right now. Touching you.
Oh, I was like, what?
Touching
I thought you saw your parents over there.
No, sorry. They're playing Sweet Caroline. Sweet
Caroline.
But they're playing
It's like house music of Sweet Caroline.
okay, sorry. But I hope that you guys can think of something right now, whatever you're going through, something that you're grateful for. And I even want to go one step further, and if it is someone you're grateful for, to
Let
take
them
that
know.
step and let them know. Because you know what? That can just trickle.
Be intentional.
I could text Jaden, I'm so grateful for you, blah, blah, blah. That can make their day. Then they could be like, wow, that was so sweet. And then you never know. Maybe they could go text someone they're grateful for. So I just want to encourage that mindset of gratitude. And for a week, try to find one joy of the day.
There you go. And write it down.
Yeah. And
Write
we'd
your
love
joy
to
of the
hear
day
it.
down.
But we
For now.
we hope that you guys
Oh my gosh.
enjoyed our little
Yeah,
background.
the scenery.
It's so nice
People.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we love you guys. And remember to stay connected to each other, stay connected to us.
And most importantly, stay connected to the vine.
And be the light. Bye, guys.